comment section. I can see already that Joseph is saying good morning to everyone. Good morning to you too, Joseph. Kindly go to the comment section or the chat box. Let us know where you're joining us from this morning. It's quite a little bit clear now in Lagos today. Overnight, it was very cloudy and it was raining. Let me know where you're joining us from and if this is your first class. Good morning to you too, Adamson Wisdom. Joseph, I'm joining from Lagos. That's very interesting. So Emmanuel, good day. That's amazing. Emmanuel, I'm joining from Ghana, Akwaba, Emmanuel. So I would like us to give probably just few minutes for other students that will be joining the class, maybe maybe 1 or 2, 3 minutes, just for us to be able to admit more people. Wow, Rick Godwin from Uganda. Amazing, amazing. Emmanuel is laughing. So let's just give others the opportunity of 3 to 4 minutes for them to join the class so we can have a lovely impact of lecture today.
Years experience on related field. Salary 450. Job type.
So that we can be able to go about maximizing our potential when it comes to Microsoft. So if you're just joining us for the very first time in today's class, go to the chat box and let us know where you're joining us from. I'm joining everyone here from Lagos, Nigeria, and it's been an amazing weather so far today. I've been excited about the weather. Most of all, I've been mostly excited about the class because I can't wait for Mr. John to give us the best of the best when it comes to Microsoft Access.
Thank you very much, Damola, for that intro. Okay, and I can see in the chat room, I can see the chats in the chat room. Okay, Joseph, you're joining us from Lagos. Interesting. Emmanuel, you're joining us from Ghana. Wow. Okay, I've been to your country twice. Beautiful country as well. Yes. Yeah, Midase. I hope I said that correctly. Okay, Adam Singh from Lagos. Okay, great. Oh, Mr. Rick, always with us in class. Thank you for your support and thank you for always being with us. Yes, can we have other people tell us where you're joining us from? Let's interact. It wouldn't be all the time the trainers, the facilitators are the ones talking, right? So let's interact. If you like to unmute yourself and speak instead, that's fine. You tell us where you're joining us from, or you can chat in the chat room. I can see Victoria, Adebola, Kayode, Christiana, Jessica, Michael, Temitayo, right? Yes, please tell us where you are joining from this morning. Victoria from Ondo State. Interesting. Thank you for joining the class. We're happy to have you in class. Yes, let's have others. Feel free to drop your message in the chat room. Tell us where you're joining us from. Okay, while we admit other students. Okay, Ami from Ghana. Aha, I have my Ghanaian brothers and sisters in class, right? So thank you for joining us. Okay, yes. Where are others now? I see Benga on the call. Where are others? Tell us where you are joining us from. Let's hear from you. Okay, and please feel free to share this class link with your friends and family. This Microsoft Access is an application that most people actually do not know how to use. And this is their opportunity. It doesn't matter what level of education or what skill set they have or what position they occupy at their places of work. I mean, this is an essential knowledge, and feel free to share with them and let them join the class. Ah, Cassie from Uyo, great. Thank you for joining us. So if you're just joining us, we are still in the introduction phase to get to know where you're joining us from. Okay, so please feel free to chat that in the chat room, and we will soon kick off today's class. All right. And just in case, let me see how many persons have been with us from the inception of our Microsoft Office studies.
Enjoy the music.
How many persons have been with us from the very first class? I mean, so far we've done Microsoft Word, we've done Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint, and for this month, April, we are looking at Microsoft Access. Okay. So also put in the chat room if you have been with us from the very first class, or you can as well tell us which class you've attended so far. Okay. All right, I think while we wait for that, I think we can. Oh, Adamson, always in class. You've been with us from the beginning. Okay, okay, great, great. Mercy, take note of this name. This is Adamson Wisdom. Take note of this name, and you never can tell. Something might come your way from Transformation College. Okay, so just take note of this name, Mercy, for our Microsoft 365 class. Okay, yeah. All right, so I think it's time for us to start digging deep into today's study. Okay, Joseph says I've attended Microsoft Word, but have not been after then. Oh, okay, okay, that's all right. I hope, Joseph, I hope you've been following in the chat, in the group chat where the links are being shared so you can watch the classes that you've missed. Okay, I hope you're following. Oh, oh,
Hello, ma. Your network is breaking. Can you hear us clearly? Can you hear me? Hello, Miss Edith, can you hear me? Your network is breaking. So I can see now that a lot of people have joined the class. So I will use this opportunity to introduce our trainer, Mr. John. Are you here? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good
All right.
afternoon.
Good afternoon. That's amazing. So I can see Christian is saying, joined 2 classes so far, Word and Excel. That means you missed out PowerPoint. That's interesting. You can go back to our YouTube platform to watch the video. And Richard, me too, even though I skipped 1 class since the inception, What class did you skip, Richard? So I'm going to hand over to Mr. John right now to take control of our roller coaster for today, and I'm sure it's going to be an amazing one because Mr. John is always very slick and sweet with the way he teaches the class. That's amazing. All right, so hand over to you, Mr. John. You can take over from here.
Thank you. Good afternoon, class. How are you today? Happy Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Happy Friday. I hope you can hear me clearly. I hope my voice is audible enough. You can talk.
I can hear you. We can hear you. I can hear you clearly. Thank God
Okay,
it's
good.
Friday. Yeah,
Thank God. So you can also put it on the chat box to confirm that. While I'm setting up, I also hope you can see my screen. I've shared my screen. And let me also share a file that I would like us to use later during the class so that you can just download it. Just a minute. Just a minute, please. So loading. Loaded. Loading, still loading. Loaded. So
Sorry,
you can.
please, you guys should, sorry to cut you, Mr. John. They should
Okay.
permit us because MTN net, if you are using MTN network or you are in Lagos here or in Nigeria majorly, the network has been a little bit down. So just try to cope with us if we have any network glitch or glitches. Thank you.
Okay, so let me just guys, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining today's class. My name is John Oyeleke. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer. I train Microsoft technologies. And today I'll be facilitating today's class, facilitating the class. Let me just start by saying what is Microsoft Access. I'm going to be on the try to rush a little. Time is much and very short at the same time. We'll try to ensure that at the end of this, the aim objectives of this class for me is at the end of this class, you're able to work around Microsoft Access files and probably be able to create your own database as well. Microsoft Access used to be very common, used to be very popular until Excel came and took the shine from Access. So a lot, of course, Excel also, but it does that Excel. It's not all of them came virtually almost at the same time, but at some point, Excel took the shine, and a lot of people would rather use Excel to store their data and manage whatever the data they have. But that does not still make Access relevant. Microsoft Access is still relevant, and hopefully at the end of this class we'll be able to work around our Access files, Access database, and be able to create a stool. Okay, in this class, we're going to understand the purpose and function of relational database, define what a database is, describe database elements, create, save, open, or close database, create and modify records, create forms, use simple queries, create and use reports. So I'm going to start very theoretical and definitely we're going to do some hands-on. Like I said earlier, please download the file. I sent a file. Please download it. I sent a file, customer data. Please download it. What's a database? We all know what data is. Your information can be in text, can be in numbers, dates, and so on and so forth. Anything, any information, anything that you can measure, and that you can measure. Anyway, nobody asks what data is, but that is what data should be. And a database is used for collecting such information. You can use a database to collect and organize such information. A database can be as simple as a phone book, which you can use to store a lot of data, addresses, names, phone numbers, and so on and so forth. But of course, our discourse will center around the computerized database. You know, I started from what is data, then to database as a tool for collecting and storing and organizing information. And a phone book can be a manual database. Your register can be a manual database, and so on. Maybe I should have even asked you to give me examples of such database, but that's fine. From there, we move to computerized database management systems. We have computerized systems that can be used to collect, that can be used to store, that can be used to manage, that can be used to retrieve our data. Okay, and such systems are known as database management system. I think that term is descriptive. So the good thing about database management systems, because computerized database management system, is the fact that it can handle large volume of data. It can handle large volume of data, organize large volume of data into categories of related information. It can collect data from many sources and make database management easy for you. Of course, there are different types of, or maybe examples of database management system. Access is very common. We have the likes of Oracle. We have Oracle. We have SQL Server too. All these are examples of database management system. Okay, access. Let's now streamline to access. Of course, Access is a database management from Microsoft, and it's a container for a variety of database objects. I'm going to be showing you very shortly. You know, when you have Microsoft Word is Microsoft Word. Okay, but Access is a container for many database objects. What we are saying is that in an Access file, there are many elements. You understand? Not just like Microsoft Word now is just Word. You know, Word now has maybe some pages. You know, in PowerPoint, it's just PowerPoint, maybe slides, you know. But we have different components in an Access file, and that's what I'm going to be showing you, shed more light on that as we proceed. All database objects are stored within a single database file with the ACCDB file name extension. That's straightforward. A database file, an Access database file is an Access database file contains, it's like a container for many objects. I'm going to be showing you I'm going to be showing you physically very shortly. I just want to push this slide a little. You contains many objects, but all these objects are stored in a single file, and such file as HTTP file as an extension. We're going to be seeing that very shortly. We have many versions of Access. 2007 till now, we use ACCDB as an extension. So Access files end with ACCDB. You understand? Access file names end with ACCDB. For those created with previous editions, with the old editions, you are going to see something like MDB ending their file names. Okay, when you start an Access file, there are many options you're going to see, and I'm going to be showing that very shortly. You're going to see many options. At least you are going to see two options. You have the option to create a blank database, and you have the option to create database from a template. You have the option to use a template. You have the option to search online for templates. You have the option to open a recent database. I'm going to show you that very shortly. Okay, I think I'm getting there slowly. Yes, when you open a database, when you open an Access file, you can get it. Any of these objects. When I told you that when you have, let's say, Microsoft Word, you just have Microsoft Word. You understand everybody. But when you have Microsoft Access, you can create an Access file. Of course, the different object is table. However, I can decide to work with a table. I can decide to work with a form. I can create
your folders.
I can create reports. I can create macros or the create modules. You understand?
Mr. Salami.
You understand, everybody? If you understood, put I understood. Put yes on the dialog box, on the chat box. That when you have Microsoft Word, it is just Microsoft Word. You just have a plain file and a plain screen and you are typing. Okay? But when it is Microsoft Access, okay, you can work with, of course, the table will always be the default object or default element you are going to work with, or default component. What we are saying is that Microsoft Access has many components, and you can decide to work with any of these components. Because the table is the default component. Like when you open Access, what you're going to see is the table. Okay, but you can also decide to work with forms, work with queries, work with reports, work with macros, and so on and so forth. Once you take database objects that are used to store data, I think that's very straightforward. Tables are used to store data. Like in most cases, you have a row and column arrangement of data set, and you have your data stored. Data are stored in tables. Okay? When are forms? I'm going to show you very shortly. Forms are used for collecting data. I want to use form to do. Yes, somebody should drop it. I've said it, but somebody should confirm that. What do you use your form to do? When you go to collect forms, what do you use forms to do? Yes, I'm waiting. What do you use forms to do? What do you use forms to do? I'm somebody to talk to me. What do you use forms to do? What do you use forms to do? To get information. Thank you, Mr.
You use
Joseph.
the form to get data, to get
Thank you very
information.
much. So forms are used to collect data. Do you understand? Use a database, so you can decide to use your form to collect data instead of just typing directly into the table. Do you understand? You can also create queries. What do you use queries to do? Use query to extract subsets of data. You can use query to extract a section of the data set. You understand, everybody? When you that's okay. I'll be coming back to that later on. Of course, reports to print and summarize the data. Your printout is basically your report. What you are printing out of the summary of your database or your data is what you refer to as report. You also have macros that's advanced a little bit, but macros are used to automate tasks, especially complex tasks and repetitive tasks in my Access. You understand? Macros are functionalities, a database functionality that helps you to automate repetitive tasks, automate complex tasks. Okay, so these are objects or these are components that you can see. You have reading. Maybe I should just go ahead and show us what I'm talking about. These are the switching to my slide once in a while. But the file I opened, I sent you, please open it. Let's start from there. The customer, I think yes, customer data, please open it so that I can see what I'm talking about. Because of our time is short, let me just use one stone to kill. Let me just use one stone to kill two birds. Okay, hope you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I
Can you see my screen? Good.
Navigation.
So this is an existing database anyway. Let's use an existing database so that I can see what I'm talking about. You know, this existing database contains what I'm talking about. Then from there, we'll go and create our own blank database. Let's start with this existing database to see what I'm talking about. I'm sure you are familiar with this top part, where you have customer database. That's your title bar. You are familiar with minimize, maximize, and close buttons. The quick access toolbar. Of course, the reading where you have this file, own, create, and so on and so forth. I'm sure you are familiar with that. But in Access, one of the things that is a little bit different from other application, other marks of application is you have the navigation pane on the left-hand side. Sometimes you have it good like this. Some of us have yours like this. If you have it like this, good for you. But sometimes you might have your navigation pane minimized. So if you are not seeing your database like this, you can just probably minimize it. So maximize it. If it's minimized, just maximize. You understand? Okay, let me ask, have we opened this? Have we opened our customer database? Have we opened our customer database? Have we opened our customer database? Because that's why I had to move away from my slide. I need to be sure that we are together. Have we opened the customer database? I've sent it, check the chat box. It's there for you to download.
John, you're getting responses in the chat room already.
Yes, sorry, I didn't respond somebody to. Yes, good. So, on the navigation pane, you have the navigation pane. In case it's not showing, just click on this right arrow. You're going to see the content of the navigation pane. And earlier, I told you that access, there are many components we're going to be working with. And you're going to see them. Have you seen tables? Have you seen queries? Have you seen forms? Have you seen what else it be? Queries, forms, reports, mappings. Yes. Yes, have you seen all of that? You can see we have tables, we have queries, we have forms. So like Microsoft does Microsoft Word, except it does Excel. But in Access, there are 5, 6 components we're going to work with. You understand, everybody? Okay. But like I said, the default, most cases will always be the table. The primary component is the table. The foundation, so to speak, if you allow me to use that word, foundation, is the table. You understand? Okay. So if you want to open any of these, you can always open it. You can double click on any of them. You can see it's open. Cost table is open. Probably let's open employees table. And when you open it, so you can open many of them at a time. I can have many tables open at the same time. I can have many queries open at the same time. As you are opening them, you see them tab. You'll see them in various tabs. Can you see calls? You can see employees. Let me go to queries, customer extended query. You can see it as well. You can see that I have another tab showing us that query. Okay, but like I said earlier, the primary and the major components is the table.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Maybe I should start.
I had to take like some rest.
Maybe I should start from the table. Maybe I should start from the table. So let me start from the table. Okay, so there's a table. Let me delete all of these. You can right click on any of them, right click on any of the tab and click on close. Okay, so I close call. Let me just close order. Of course, let me close orders. Let me have employees table. So please, let's all of us open the employees table. All of us open employees table. Have you done that? We're going to observe that on this table, like I said, table is used for storing data, and of course, we are going to have it stored in row and column format. So we have the rows, we have the columns. In Access, we rarely mention rows. You know, instead of rules, we see records. Sorry, yeah, we see records. Yes. So saying rules are called records in database and access, while the columns are called fields. So we talk in terms of fields and record in database. Do you understand, everybody? So this is record 1, record 2, record 3, record 4, record 5, record 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on and so forth. Okay. We also have the fields. All these are called fields. The columns are called fields. So you have company, last name, first name. All these are what? All these are fields. You understand, everybody? Okay. How do you populate your data sets? We have some already. I can always click on any of these fields, on any of these cells, and type whatever I want to type. Let me add John here. Let me add John here. Let me add Oyeleke here. How do I move to other columns? I can use my right arrow keys, my left arrow keys, my up arrow key to move around. You understand? Because I can, when I get to the end, I can go to the next. I can go to the next record. I can go to the next record to create more records. Okay. Just a minute. Okay, so that's that about the rules and the columns. You create more tables. In case you need more tables, you can create more tables. Just go to create, you're going to see table there. So click on table. In fact, maybe you should just do that. Click on table, and you have a new table. Please do that. Click on create table. You might do this first. You might right click or double click on table 1. Or maybe just leave it when you are ready to save it. It's going to show you where to rename the table. Okay. So how do you populate your table? You can see close to add. So you can click to add. The first thing to do is to choose the kind of data type you want to put on that table. Are we all together, everybody? I started by saying that in Access, we have many components, but table is the foundation, is the primary, is the principal component. Okay, so we are working with a table. We have an existing table, and we can work with it. We can open it. The tables are on the navigation page. You can take turn one after the other, open your table, and get the information that you want to get there. But you can also create a table. You can also create a table. You want to create a table, go to create, click on create, then click on create table. Then you have the table. You're going to see ID, you're going to see click to add. So click on click to add. Click to add is for you to specify the kind of data that you want on that column. Okay, if it's a text, so you can choose short text. If it's number, you can choose number. If it's a date, like say your date of, like say, let's say it's date of birth. Let me just even choose short text. Let me click on short text. Short text or long text, you can determine the length. Later, I'm going to show you all of that. Let me click on short text. So I can now put the name of that field. Let's say I want green. Okay, I can go to the next. I can click to add a green. Let's say short text. Short text is relative. You can decide what the length of the text, the length of characters that will. So that's why the short is relative. You understand? Okay, so let me put, let's say address. Need to add again. Let me put number this time. Let me say age. Okay, click to add again. Let me put, let's say date and time this time. Let's see my date of birth. Date of birth, and I can go and on like that. What we are saying is that when you are creating a new table, the first thing is to define your column one after the other. And the first thing you're going to do is to determine the data type for that column. And when you are determining the data type, to determine data type, you're going to consider what content do you want to put on that column, on these columns. Do you understand? Because whatever you have defined, for example, I cannot come here now and start typing age. I define it as a number. I cannot come here and typing John there. It's not going to make sense. It's not going to accept it. Do you understand, everybody? I'm going to say what I'm doing. So it's not as if you just put anything. It's not as if you are just going to put anything there. You are going to define the kind of data you want to enter on those columns. So that's when you determine the data type you are going to pick when you are creating those fields. Do you understand? Do you understand? When you are creating fields or when you are creating columns, when you should be using the two terms interchangeably. When you are creating your columns, you have to define the data type. And I'm saying that you don't just pick anything for just picking sake. Because whatever you pick, whatever you select, whatever you define, we determine the kind of data that column will accept at the end of the day. Do you understand, everybody? Have you done that? Are you doing that? So let's go. We said age. Let's say John is 30. Let's say name. Let's have John, and maybe let's say we have one more field here. So let me have, let's see, first name. Let's have last name here. So I have John here. John. Last name. Oyeleke. Let's have the address 23 James Street, Lagos. Age 30, date of birth. You can pick, let me just pick a random, let me pick a random date. Let me just pick a random date. But the fact is that it must be a date. I can't come here and put 30 here. If I put, and tell me what's going to happen if I put 30 here. What's going to happen if I put 30? What's going to happen? Is it going to accept it? Why is it not accepting it? Yes, let me check the chat box. Why is it not accepting it? Let me show that we are following. Because it's very, very cool. Yes. Why is it not going to accept it? 30 is not accepting 30.
Because it needs exact dates, the dates, not just the number.
Not just number, because you have specified that that column is, the data type is date and time column. So it has to be what? It has to be dates. It has to be in date format. Okay? So let me put a date, let's say 23, 11, 30, 11, 2020. Okay, let's make sure that's a date. Let's make sure that's a date. Okay, and I can put in the next line. Let me have James, June. Let me have the address. I'll be doing what I'm doing. To Church Street, Lagos. This guy is 20. Let's say it was born in 4, 11, 20, 28. So that's how we're going to continue. Okay, let me add more. Let me see Jamie Phillips. Jamie Phillips. 42 Station road. Where? Let's see across again. Let's say this one is 35. It's 5, 30, 19. I'm just putting random dates. Of course, you're going to put the right date. Okay, let's say that's just say things. Sorry, things should be in the next. Things should be in the next place. Let's say 73 Osborne Road. If we is 42, and let's say the date of birth is 7 what? 7 21. This dates might not be dates, the date and the age may not be aligned, but in your own case, of course, you're going to put something that's going to align. But the bottom line is that we're able to put our information on our table based on the data types that were specified, and we have a data set. We're going to, I think many of us observe that the ID is populating itself. The ID is just populating itself. And do you have anybody that probably your own ID? The ID column is not showing 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you have anybody that probably his own ID is not showing 1, 2, 3, 4? Probably started from 2, started for something else. Maybe it's not even showing 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's not compulsory that it should show 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you have anybody? Do you have anybody like that? Please indicate. Okay, do you have anybody? Okay, nobody, good. So the primary key is just a unique identifier. It's just you are not the one assigning it. So your ID is not your serial number. I'm lucky that I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't say I want to change the name of this ID. Yeah, I can change it, but I didn't necessarily say I want to change it. Especially if, because let me try to make it true. Once I can't change it, I can't change it in the case that probably your own is not 1, 2, 3, 4. In case it's 2, doesn't want to change. You don't want to change the ID. It is the primary key. It's the unique identifier. Is the database assigning those numbers randomly to your records. Do you understand, everybody? So I'm lucky that my ID can also be my serial number, can go for my serial number. Do you understand? You understand? There is not compulsory. It's not every time. It's not compulsory that it's be 1, 2, 3, 4. The system can assign 2, 3, 4, 5. You understand? So you can't do anything to change those numbers. It is the system assigning values to what you are doing. You understand? So if you now think you need a serial number, what you just need to do is just create another one, create another serial number to be a serial number, and leave that ID for itself for access. Okay? The other time I tell you that you can make some, what I will tell you, you can also make some you can do some changes. You can change some preferences. You can do some preferences. Okay, for example, if you go to the home tab, you can go to you can change the view to design view. And at that time, it's going to ask you to save it. You can change the view so that you'll be able to go and do some changes, some further changing of preferences, setting what you want. But when you go there, you say you want to change, you're going to ask you to save, which makes sense. So let me just, let's say customer, let me change to customer. Let's say customer, let me name it customer. So let me click on it. Now we need to change on the design view. If you want to make any setting of preferences concerning the table or any component that you are working with, we are going to something similar as what we're going to do for all the other components. So to try to understand what I'm doing now, we're going to do something similar for other components too. Just make sure you understand make sure you understand this table, and when we go for other components, it will not be a problem. Okay, so go to Aim, and on your own, you'll be able to go to design view. And like I said, if you have not saved it, it's going to ask you to save that table. You have saved that table. I'm sure you are saying what I'm saying. Okay? Are you on the same page? Are you on the design view? To set preferences for a particular table, you go to the design, you go to design view, you go to design view of the table, you go to design view, table design view. Do you understand, everybody? Do you understand, everybody? You go to table design view. Do you understand, everybody? Okay,
Yes,
if you look
yes,
at
I'm following.
serial number, you can see it's auto number. And this is what I'm saying. We are not the one that it's auto number. Okay, the primary ID is always auto number. You can see first name is short text. You can change it in case you want to change your mind. You know, when we are creating it, we are determining, we are specifying the data type. Maybe something that is changed and change your mind. You can also come here to come and change the data type. And so you can come here to change the data type. You understand, everybody? Okay? For every record or for every field, you can change many things. For example, there is, for the first time when I told you that short text, there's short text, there's long text. Somebody can tell me, what if I want long text? You know, it's relative. It's relative. It's relative. Okay? For short text, you have 255. You have the features as 255. The text length is 255. And I think for most of the things you might want to, most of the information you might want to collect, I think 255 is okay. But if you want something unlimited, maybe things like comments. Am I right? Things like comments will be more than 255. Things like comments will be more than 255. So in that case, you can use long text. If you look at long text now, you can see the format that you don't have any limits, no limits. Okay, but let me just make it short text. You have formats, you have input mask, you have input mask. For things like dates, sorry, not dates, things like phone numbers, you might want to specify a particular format. You understand? I hope you can see what I'm saying. You can see the phone number, social number, password, long term, all these formats. You might want to specify a particular format. Especially for dates and for phone numbers. Formats should be adhered to. Okay, in case you want to do that, that is what you do on input mask. And of course, you have the default value. You have the default value. You have the default value. You have the validation rule. In case you are creating formulas, that's a little bit advanced. In case you are creating formulas, anything that does not follow this condition that are set will not be accepted. Okay, you have the validation text. Okay, that's whatever access is rejecting, it should display a particular information. Okay, so all these are various things that you can set. You can see, if you go down, you can see, I'm trying to focus on the ones that are very relevant. If you get the text aligned, you can see general, you can see left, center, right. I want my text to be aligned on left. I want my text to be aligned, center, and so on and so forth. You can use the text aligned to go and do that. Okay, somebody is saying that my own unique identifier. I want my unique identifier to be order ID. You know, a particular field that is not ID. You know, don't forget that what is my serial number is used to be ID. I just change it to serial number. Okay, it's ID. Maybe what I want to use as my primary ID, primary key in this context is a unique identifier. Is a unique identifier that can be used to identify my records on the database. You understand? So somebody is saying, I want a particular thing to be my unique identifier. So what you can do is to go to that particular field, just to make my go to data sheets again. Go to data sheet again. I said it before, I didn't see it again. Okay, I think it's still on yes, it's still on the design view. Go to that, click on that field, go to table design, you will see primary key. For example, let's assume that, let us assume that my date of birth is unique identifier. My date of birth is unique identifier. I can go to DOB, click on table design and click on primary key. So it becomes my unique identifier. You understand, everybody? You understand, everybody? We are creating our table, and that's a major way with access. That's a major, that's a principal component in access. That's principal. That's a major element or tool in access. You understand, everybody? I started with creating your columns, creating your rows, creating a table. Go to create a table. Create all your rows and columns. As you are creating the columns, you will be asked to specify data type.
Hello,
You
Mr.
can
John.
do,
Can you
yes,
hear?
please. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I think your network glitched a bit. That's why I had to step in. No problem. You can continue.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yes.
Okay, good. So you want to specify now, you want to make some other settings. You want to make some other settings. What can you do? You can go to the design view. Go to design view to go and do that. And how do you go to design view? On your own tab, you will see view. Then you click on design view. Click on design view. And then when you're on design view, you'll be able to set all these preferences. You understand? What I'm not talking about now is that the issue of the primary key, the issue of a unique identifier. There's a unique identifier. There's a unique identifier that the database always use to identify each of the records. Okay, you might want to also, you might have other ideas. You may have a particular field on the table that serves better as your unique identifier than what access has done. Okay, if you have that, let's say as part of these fields now, as part of these columns now, there's other ID, there's staff ID. Because you cannot change the existing ID, what you have as the ID to, you cannot change it to suit you. It is access that assign these numbers randomly. So if you have your own staff ID, in case of bankers now, maybe what do you call it? Account numbers. You know, I now want to make that account number to be the unique identifier. What am I going to do? Because I'm going to create the column. Then I will come here, then click on account number. Let's assume that this is the account number here now. Let's come here, then go to table design and click on primary key. And if you observe, the key staying in front of serial number is not showing here now, is not showing on view. Do you understand, everybody? Do you understand, everybody? Do you understand, everybody? And when you are done doing that, I can always go to my data sheet view. Data sheet view. The tables, there are two basic views. We have the data sheet view. This is where you can enter your data sets and go ahead and do anything you want to do, any other operations that you want to do. Then we have the design view. That is where you set preferences. That's where you configure, make any convention that you want to do. On data sheet view, what can we do? You can do many things. You can decide to sort your data set. I can decide to sort alphabetically, use a particular field. Of course, when you are sorting, there must be what do we call it? There must be a condition. There must be the field that you're using to sort. Let's say I want to sort based on
Hello, John.
sort. Yes.
Yes, sorry to cut you there. So Honesty wants you to take that again. I think it's referring to the configuration view.
Okay.
Yes, please
Okay.
take that again.
I'll do that again. I hope you are following how the flow is. I hope it's not confusing. I hope I'm not confusing you. What we are doing is that access, when you are working with access, you are not working with one component like some of the other applications. You are working with 4, 5, 6 components. You are working with many components. And it's also that maybe the best practice is to start with table. So when you start with table, you create a table. You have many tables here because this is an existing file. If this is a blank file, you have to create your table. You're going to start with the table. So click on create a table, you have a table. And you can create many tables. How do you name the table you have created? You see it tab. You see it tab like this. You see it in tabs. I can go ahead and create more. Okay, I have this table now. What am I going to do? I'm going to create columns. Okay, you understood how to create the columns, how to create the columns, and how to put your data set there. When I'm saying that you can set preferences, you can make some configurations. You can determine the kind of data that will be on these columns and rows. So to do that, that's what how two calls to the types of views. We have 2 types of views basically. We have the data sheet view. What we are saying currently is data sheet view. When you are setting preferences, you go to design view. On the leftmost icon will be view. So click on view and click on design view. So this is the design view. On design view now you can decide to go and even the data type that you change over time, you can go ahead and change the data type. Like I did a while ago, you can change the primary key. Primary key is very, very key because primary key is what the database will use eventually to identify each of these. Like the case of the bank, where it identifies every customer, the bank account, the account number. In case of let's say staff HR data set, what identifies each staff is the staff ID. So by default, your staff ID, your account number will not just be the unique identifier. Access will create something else, and there's nothing you can do. The best you can do is probably to change the name. But you cannot change it to what suits you, and that's that data set and access will be assigning it. So you can decide to create your own, like I use DUD as an example. Let's say DUD is a unique identifier. After taking all of that, I can now make this as a primary key. And of course, when I'm done with all these settings, setting my preferences, I go back to the data sheet view. Where I can carry out my operations. You set preferences or design view. All these other operations you might want to do, populating your data set, sorting, filtering, and so on and so forth can only be done on the data sheet view. So eventually you always need to come back to data sheet view. You understand, everybody? So now we are back on data sheet view. You understand, everybody? So you can do many things. Many things like what, many things like how that's clear now. How that's clear now. Let me check my chat box. Okay, so the crazy thing I was coming out to use than columns. Of course, when you're coming out to use as you are done with a particular request type, you to the next row. Okay, or you can set the screenshot as advised. So let's just look at one because of our time. Okay, you can also filter. I can filter and decide to. Okay, let me continue with my sorting. I can sort. I want to sort based on the age. You can see sort like smallest. Sort smallest to largest. I can do sorting. Okay. What else can I do? I can delete any field. I can delete any field. I can delete any record. I can delete any record. Just like click on that record. I want to delete names. I can delete the record. I can delete James' record. I can insert another record. You know, in case you don't want to use enter, just like click. Somebody saying enter the nowhere. Like click on the last record and put new records. Okay, so let's do very, very fast. Time is on our side for now. That is our table. That is our table. We're going to come back to it. Let's go to form. Let's go to forms. Earlier on, I defined form. I define form as a tool for collecting your data set. Sorry, for collecting your data. The tools for collecting your data. So how can you use a form? How can you create a form? Very simple. Just go to create form. I'll give you a form. It's going to ask you to say whatever you are doing. You want to say the table customer and add the new object, saying yes, of course, yes. And it's going to create a form based on the existing table. Do you understand? We're not saying form very something, but then it is form. We're not saying forms or based on this current table. Just a minute. Some of all the steps will be faster than this. My system is in boot. I managed a lot. Can't remember the last time I did my system. Okay, let's do that again. Click on form, everybody. You have a form. So it's taking time. But you have a form. But we observe that it's going to the base, the way you see, just click on form. Whatever you see, just wait for me. You are going to see forms of existing records. Just a minute, my screen just froze. Just a minute. Sorry about this. Please put on the chat box here. Do you have a form? Do you have a form? My screen froze. Put it on the chat box. My access screen just froze. Do you have a form? Yes. So what are you seeing on that form? What are you seeing on that form? Let me see if you are seeing what you're supposed to see. What did you see on that form? Just describe what you saw, or maybe the information on that form. Or what did you see? Yes, Michael, what did you see?
It's showing the information of the first.
Yes, they see the information of the first person. So it's going to create a form, like I said, it's going to create a form based on that table, based on that active table. Based on that active table, should I don't want to close this because I have not seen it. Maybe I should just use the tax manager to. Sorry, just a minute. Let me just. I close it. Let me just open it again. Just a minute is opening.
All right, Mr. John, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. This is Damola. I thought probably maybe it was my network that glitched a little bit.
No, I'm trying to open my file. My file goes, so I have to stop it, close it, and start again.
No problem.
Okay, let me just use. Okay, let me share. Just a minute, let me just share my screen again. So this signature you have to use. Okay, let me just use another database. Let me just use another table. But this is a table. I can go to create form. We are trying to create a form. Create a form. Create a form. Hey, why are you freezing? Oh, there was a liar. Okay, he's asking me to wait. Let me just wait to meet you. I would have loved to. I would have loved to wait for it, but let me not wait for it. Let me not wait for it. You are going to observe that the record is maybe. So let me just say that it's going to go. Let me just continue because of our time. It's going to show the records of that the information for that first record. And of course, if you look at the bottom, let me just say you can see, you are going to see one of, I think, how many records do you have? Let's say you have 5, you're going to see one of, if you have 5, you have 6, you're going to see 1 of 5, 1 of 6. Are you seeing that? And you're going to see an arrow beside that one of, you're going to see an arrow pointing to the right to show you that you can. Yes, finally, I have it. So I have the records, and then I said I have the form. So this is the form. Okay, somebody tried to type something on that form. Try to make a change. Have you tried making a change? Have you tried making a change on that form? While you are trying to make a change, you will see an arrow at the bottom. You can use that to navigate from one form to the other. I have 11 forms. I have 11 forms on this, and I have the 12th form. Have you tried making any change? Even there's a blank one. Eventually, I have a blank one. And if you look at that bottom around that, how you can see my form? Can you see my form? You can see an arrow pointing to the right. That's next record. There's last record. There is new blank record. So I can click on new blank record to have a blank record. To actually have a blank record. Okay, but the idea is that what do you do? The form is supposed to be used to collect form. So it's supposed to be used to collect information. So how do I add information to this? You need to change the view to a form view. Currently, it's on layout view. So you're not going to do anything on the layout view. On the layout view, you're going to part of using some controls and adding some tips. You're able to add your information on layout view. So you have to go to form view. That's where I can now go. Let me add. Somebody should borrow this one. Okay, let me use Michael Adibisi so that by the time we see it on that table, we'll be sure that we actually, let's say, company, let's say company, it's Transformation College, Transformation College. Last name, let's say, is Adibisi. First name, Michael. Email address, Michael Adibisi at transformationcollegenigeria.com. That's a job title, CTA, your phone number, some numbers. Let me just stop there. So I can go ahead and go to another. Let me add one more form. Don't forget that the forms can be used, they are used for collecting, basically they are used for collecting data. Okay, so let's say the company is Transformation Bank. Let me use Damola this time. Damola.
I'm here with you. I can hear you loud and
No, I don't using your name. Sorry for using your name without fear. Without informing you,
No
without taking the. Okay, I'm just using your name. So email address, let's say Damola at tcn.com. Okay, let me also give you CFO. This is our CFO. And let me put his phone number. Okay, let me use the number. So I can go back to my tables now. To my table. What should I see? You can tell me what I should see. What should I expect to see? We have our table. We are trying to work on our form. We are trying to see how form works. Forms are used to populate your table. Forms are used to collect information. We are creating our form, are clicking on create and clicking on form and changing our form to form view because that's the different view. You're not going to add anything to it. We change to form view and we have added the form. What do you expect to see on the table? Somebody. What do you expect to see on the table? If form will go by its name or by description, form is to collect information, to add information to our database. So what do you expect to see on the table? Yes. What do you expect to see on the table? Yeah, somebody just put on the chat box on mute. What do you expect to see on the table? I'm not saying what are you saying. What do you expect? I'm talking about your expectation now. The expectation, what do you expect to see on the table? Now, somebody, your expectation. Now, somebody, what's your expectation to see on the table? What do you expect to see on the table?
There's a chat in
Did
the
you
chat.
yeah, did you expect the market? Don't look at your reading and guess what you need to do. Yes, I'm looking at the chat box. Guess what you need to do.
change it back to another view.
Change it back. Why not go to refresh on and refresh it? Why not go to refresh on and refresh all? There's refresh and refresh all. Refresh will just bring you one by one. You bring the first change. But click on refresh all, and what happened? What happened?
You see additional information of those
Yes,
things
you see all what you have done. Do you understand? Is it working for somebody? Is it working for somebody? Has it worked for somebody? These forms that we have created, when you go to
Yes.
the table and click on refresh all, do you now do you work? Have you seen your information? Yes. Yes, I think so. Okay, so that's the form. What is query? What is query? What is report? So you have worked on table. I think when you started, when you basically use your database, you use your access to store your data. Have we been able to store our data? Have we been able to store our data? Yes. We are going to put our data. That's custom. That's these tables that we have created, they are there already. These tables are the principal storage tool for our database. You can create more, you can add more to it. You can use your access to manage it. We are managing it already. We are setting preferences, sorting, filtering, and anything we want to do. Even collecting information and so on and so forth. That's managing. Okay, let's now get to the part of retrieval. In fact, we are starting retrieval already because you can use your access. That same table, you can do filtering. You can filter. You can filter. Let's say based on I'm using a separate different table now. So when we are all the other time, we have a table made up of date of birth, made up of each. I can do there. Okay, even in this case, I can decide to pick a specific number of people. Okay, I can use text filter. Okay, assuming it's a number, assuming it's age. The other time that we have numbers, I can use less than, greater than, equal to, to specify the data sets I want to see. You understand, everybody? Okay, let's work on queries. Let's use queries to do. Everything I'm saying is on the presentation, and I'm sure we're going to get the presentation after the class, so to become clearer. Okay, queries are sets of instructions. It's like set of questions. It's like asking the query to do certain things. And what can you tell the database to do? It's like what? Don't tell me to print. We're going to print. We're going to print. Don't tell me save. We're going to save. Okay, maybe we should address the meeting. You can also go to file. I always go to file. Just a minute. You can always go to file and click on save as to save our database. Save database as, save object as, save our database as. Save our database as will choose the kind of format that you want to save it. We have the access database, we have the access 2022 database. Are you saving as a new format? Are you saving as an old format? Are you saving as a template? Or are you saving as actually the objects? Are you saving as PDF? Are you saving as access file? Do you understand? Do you understand? Okay, you can also print. You can print, you can decide to print. So when I'm talking about questions I want to ask, because I just described query as a tool that can be used to ask questions, that can be used to instruct or normal query outside access. What's query? Query has to do with asking questions. Yes or no? I think what's query? After access, what is query? What is query? Query, you ask questions. Why did you do this? Why did you not come to work? Stuff like that. So when you are really querying access to, you are asking questions. And you are asking, you are instructing access to do certain things. Okay? But I said not CB, not access, save this file. You want to save, go and save. If you want to save as PDF, go and save. If you want to print, go and print. Okay, if you want to set preference, go and set preference. So what do you do when you create query? So let me create on these, let us say, all of us go on the same page. Let us go to employees. Let us go to the employees team. Go to the employees table. Whatever you are working on, maybe customer or whatever you name it will be there. And if you look at it, I'm having 2 employees. Tell me why I'm having 2 employees. You can ask me why I'm having 2 employees. Look at my screen. I'm having employees. You see that I can create 2 tables. I can name the same table, the same name. Yes, somebody. I'm having 2 employees on my screen. Why am I having 2 employees? Why am I having employees? 2 employees.
One is for the table, the other is the form.
Thank you. So there is the employees, there's the employees table, there is the employees form. If I create a query from this table now, I'm going to have the employees query. You understand? So that's why I said the other time that your access your access file can be of 4 components, 4 parties components. And this for table, query, forms, and reports. Okay, the advanced for advanced let's talk about macros and modules. Let's leave macros. Let's leave macros for now. Okay, so this is employees table, this is employees form. I can create employees query. One of the easiest way to do query is to click a query wizard. Query wizard means that you are the one design it from the scratch. The easy way to do it, which is very also is definitely easy, but it's not for learners alone. Everybody is playing wizard. Is to use create query wizard. Query wizard. And when you click on query wizard, you're going to have this query dialog box. Okay, and you have the most common query wizard type, which is simple query wizard. Another one is cross-tab query wizard. Cross-tab query wizard helps you to be able to create queries for multiple tables. You understand? But for most of the queries that you create, I said you will make use of simple query wizard. So let me use simple query wizard and click on all query. Okay, so basically what I do with this, I may decide not to when you are creating query, let me ask to answer to query. Let's leave access a little. At work, when you have to create query, you are going to ask questions on a particular thing, not on everything you have been doing since you started working for that organization. Query includes there's a particular incident. So basically, you are creating a query, you are extracting a section from the database. You understand, everybody? You understand, everybody? When you are creating a query, basically in database in access, what you are doing is that you are trying to extract part of the database. You understand? For example, now let's say it's a bank database. Now I want information on our customers in Lagos State only. What I'm going to do is to create a query. What I'm going to do is to create the database. Do you understand? I need information on our customers in Lagos. I need their BBM. I just need BBM of our customers. I just need names and address of our customers, not especially names and emails of our customers. What I'm going to do, we are going to create a query. Do you understand? So basically, when you are creating a query database, what you are trying to do is to create parts, is to extract a section of the database. You understand? So I create a query now because I have the different database, that I can also decide to create a query for other tables. I can change my mind, but let me just make use of the employee table. The active data, the active table. So the query will be based on the active table. However, I can always come here and change the table to something else. Okay, so I have the employee table. What do I want to see? Maybe I want to see the last name. I click on this, remove it. I click on maybe first name, I add it, and maybe the email address, and I add it. Maybe that's all. I can click on next and click on finish. I can modify the page design. I can change the name. I can change the name. And I can click on finish. What do I have? We have the first name, the last name, and email address. You will have it. I hope you are seeing my screen. I hope I've shared my screen. I hope my screen is shared.
Yes, we are seeing
Yes. Thank you. Did you understand, everybody? When you are querying a database, you are creating, you are extracting a section of the database. Okay? I don't just few fields. I want this particular number of records. That is the thing. And like I said, the most common is the select query. That first one is the most common one. But we have other ones, like the cost tab. The cost tab can be used if you are creating a, especially when you want to create query for multiple tables. You have many tables. You know, you have multiple tables, and you want to create your query. You want your query to extract data from multiple tables. You're going to use that second query, the cost tab query. Do you understand, everybody? Do you understand, everybody? Let me hear from you so far. Any questions so far? These are the fundamentals. So with these, you can build up on this. You can do many other things with this. You can build up on this. So far, so good. Do we have any challenge so far? We've discussed a little on tables and forms, and now query. Do you have any questions so far? Any questions so far? Okay, let's move on. Then we have the reports. As I said, macro is not for everybody. Macro is even advanced, so we might not even we don't even talk about macros. Macros, talking about macros means we've get into programming, because macros are mini programs that are used for automating your task, complex tasks and access, some tasks will become complex at some advanced level. You want to automate it, you write a macro. Okay, so the basic tools that you are going to be working with in access are the tables, the forms, the queries, and the reports. Reports are used for displaying your information. So if you want to, let's say you want to print now, basically what you are printing is your report. I want to summarize my database. The summaries you get from your tables are known as reports. The summaries, the printouts from your report, from your database is your report. So with what I have now, let me go back. Let me go back to the employees table. I might decide to create a report. You can see everything on that database Everything on that database is here. Okay. I could have also print my queries. I'm not saying you must print all your content all the time. If I need to print a section of my database, that's a query. So that means I'm printing my query. So at the point of printing, it becomes a report. Do you understand, everybody? You can as well print a report too. When you are creating a report will show you the content of your database. Although you can also determine what you want to see. For example, I can put a logo. You can see logo here. I can try to add a logo. I can try to change this logo. I can try to change the title. You can see this employee's title. You can see I can insert the logo. You can see this. How do I see my screen? I can change it. Let me change the logo. So you can see how it's possible. I can change the logo. My pictures, where are you? Let me just many pictures, but which one should I use? Okay, let me just use my entity badge as the logo. I can change the logo, I can change this, I can change this, I can do many things, change the time, I can add many other things. Okay, add existing fields. I can change the theme. If I don't like what I'm saying, I can change to something else. Yes, I can change the colors, I can change the fonts and so on and so forth. I can go to format and add many other changes. Then go out to things. You understand, everybody? So basically, that's how to work around your database, your access. Okay. Every other thing now, they're a little bit advanced. Probably when you are working with multiple tables. The other time I spoke about the cross tab. The cross tab query wizard that we are extracting multiple tables. We are extracting multiple tables. Okay, maybe I should just leave it there. You know, but there are times I need to extract extract information from multiple tables. So what do? You don't use select query in that case, you use your cross tab, but that is what will give you the opportunity to be able to do that. But basically, everybody, let me do a recap before I like to ask a question, and if there's time for us to move forward. I hope everybody is we are together. I hope is sick. I hope I'm not confused. People this afternoon. Yes, let me recommend before I continue. Our better saying, so far so good. Do you have any question? Do you have any question? Yes, on the chat box. Yes, I'm on the chat box. Please ask your questions before I continue. So that we're all on the same page. Because access is not when you have one PK, when you have one child, how many problems is that? Or if you have one wife, let me do for this afternoon. When you have one wife, how easy it is not on Discord. When you have one wife, how many problems do you have? Maybe no problem, Adi, or probably one problem. Or maybe you have four problems. How many do you have? How easy it is there on Discord? How easy it is there on Discord? If you have one wife, I don't have anything to do on this problem. But let's say you have one wife, how do you have any problem? Maybe you don't have any problem, or you're at rest, you have one problem. Then when you have 10 wives, how many do you have? So you may not have serious problems in Microsoft Word, but you're just working with 1, 2, and maybe many commands. Then for instance, you are working with four tools, 4 objects, and that makes it a little bit, and that's why people learn to excel. That's why I don't know how many of us maybe we have the opinion that we have to only say the instead of using access, we rather go and use Excel because of these complexities. We are working with 4 different objects, but it's not also complex at the same time. If you just understand the way all these objects they work, which is very, very straightforward. The first thing when you create your database is the table. The table is like the primary, whatever you are, database. Where do you store data? You store it in tables. You store it in tables. I mean, when you collect all your form, what are you going to do? I know you have a table. I know they put everything. I know they carry 100 forms everywhere. You write it out on the table. So the table is like the primary tool in access in any database. So when you create a database, the first thing you will access is a table. So you can just put in your data and you have it. You have your database, you have your table ready. And of course, when you are putting your data, you know all these complexities of specifying data type. You can also go to design view to go and specify what you want to see, how you want it to work. And of course, you also have a form. It's not compulsory you work with a form. But as you have a table, you have automatically, you also have forms automatically. Because table is just helping you to collect the information. It's just helping you. What you actually use to collect the forms to collect the data actually the forms. We're actually supposed to go to create forms. So that means I can actually, instead of putting my data directly on the table, I can actually go to create form and start from form. And as I'm creating my form one by one, I can go to my own and create a table and just refresh and everything will be on the table. But I think for ease of doing whatever we are doing, some of us like to just create a table and put our data there. Okay, so we have tables, we have forms. We now have queries. Queries extract sections of the data set. I don't want to, maybe I will show you now that we can also decide not to also type yourself, but maybe I should be showing you now that I can get my data from Excel. Because how much data can you type? I just typed 4 and I was tired. Maybe, how much data can you type? Let's say you have data in Excel, you have 1 million data. How can you can get external data? You can click on Excel and export data from Excel into Access. Do you understand, everybody? So you can export from even text file, from PDF, from Excel, especially from Excel, from CSV files, from text files, and that's where people used to store a lot of information. So you don't necessarily need to be typing. But I just type because I'm assuming that we are program class so that we can see the way some of these things works. So when you have a large data set, then of course you can expect. And when you have a large data set now, what do you need to do? It's not every time you need every information on your database. So what can you do? You can search, you can filter, you can freeze. I think that's another thing I will talk about. You can freeze. For example, if I scroll down, okay, it's not, okay, I think it's going to work for the right this time because I have, you can see that my first name has moved. As I moved to the right, my first name, my other ID has moved as it's not showing again. So how do I make probably my first name? Where is it again? To rename. I can freeze. I say please fill. So anywhere I scroll through, what will happen? My first name remains the same. These are things that you can do. Managing our data set. However, you might need to extract part of the database. So what do you do? What do you do to extract? You create queries. Okay, you create queries. And of course, when you are printing, you create reports. Okay, let me go to knowledge base. Let me look at the ones that okay, customer. Okay, this is my customer, this is my own customer, and this is my employees. Okay, so you can say I've written 21, so I can decide to close it. I can decide to close it at the time. Save changes, save changes, save changes, save changes. I know it's intentions, but I've opened a lot of, I just opened them. So another thing is that sometimes you will not see all your objects. Maybe I'm just saying tables, and I'm sure that I have things here. What am I going to do? All I need to do is to go to the navigation. All you can say, I'm only having tables. Go to your navigation pane, and you're going to see, can you see? Can see tables, only tables checked. That means only table can be displayed. So I can display the coupons. I can display the forms, the reports, the mappings, and I can display all. You understand, everybody? You understand, everybody? Let me allow you to ask your questions. Let me check my presentation and let me see some other important things that probably left out. Yes.
I have a question.
Yes, please go ahead, sir.
Michael. After the report, maybe someone wants to print. How can we set up the page so that it won't cut it or stuff like that? Because from the page that I'm seeing here, it's going to cut part of the page. So that's the question.
Okay, thank you. It depends. For some people, if you cut it, probably they have 5 pins. But for some people, it's going to cut it. It's going to have a lot of, let's say you have, let's say it's an HR, typically HR data. Let's say I work with MTN, and you know the kind of information the workers with our telecommunications company where they ask for. So I think in that case, I just create a query. Just create a query and specify what exactly you want to see. Definitely, if you are printing, you cannot print. If you are printing, not every, there's a limit to what you can see on a paper. That's the truth. Let me say that again. There's a limit to what you can see on the paper, even if you are using A3. So if you are using A3, very big paper, when you are printing very large format file, whatever anything, even if at that, it's possible you have a lot of information that even if you are using A3, you are printing on A3, you cannot, you have a lot to put them. So if you are printing, just do a query. Like I said, you can have a query as a report. When you have a query and you are printing, that becomes a report. Okay, so if I know that what I'm printing has a lot of columns and cannot be, all I need to do first, I think let's say I print the report. You know, I can just go ahead and print, create a query first, then print the query that my query becomes my report at that level. And it's going to, of course, going to print what of course, it also makes sense that I review what I want to print before printing. I think it's a good practice, the best practice to also review whatever you want to print. Do you understand? Do you understand, sir? Have I answered your question a little? It's a good habit. It's a good habit to always review what you want to print. So on your review, you're going to see what you want to print. Is it the same with whatever you want to print? And of course, if you go to print review, you also have a little settings that you can do. Maybe in the landscape, for example, I'm doing, let's say, I have 7 columns now. If I'm printing like portraits, it's possible I have to put this. It's possible everything will not show. It's possible some will cut. Some will not show. Whenever I check the landscape, there's a probability. In fact, I can see portrait now, I have only D active. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. By changing it to landscape, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 columns. So maybe if I change the landscape, for some of us, maybe it's even 6 columns and we're having 2 pages already. I can force it in 1 page. You know, I have what should be on 3 pages now showing as 4 pages. I can force it to 3 pages. You understand? I can change my margin. Like I said, depends on your database. If you have a lot of information on database, That's, is much more than what you want to, what the paper can contain, what the sheet of paper then points the page. You understand?
Yes.
You understand? Yes, let's have a question before I add more. I just want to be sure that we are together. Yes, just want to be sure that we got the essentials. Got the essentials. Yes. Do we have any question? So far so good. How's it going?
I hope everyone on the call has been following. Michael has been very interactive with us. Adeniji, Emmanuel, Honesty, Kayode, Awal, Mopret, Okoli, Richard, Richard also, Tao, Remy. I don't know who is user, but I hope you're all on the call and you're following the class. This is as practical as it can get for easy understanding of the use of Microsoft Access. Okay, I guess you can continue. John, yes, you can continue.
Thank you. Let me share this screen. So, first of all, let me go through my slides and check what is left. Database objects, yes. Screen, yes. Yes, look at the screen, database objects, the tables, the forms, the reports, the queries, the various views, the navigation pane, the backstage view, that's where you click on file to go to save and so on and so forth. Okay, I think what I have not mentioned is how to create the database from the scratch. Just assume that is also very simple, but let's look at it. What I've been working with is an existing database. So, how do you create yours? Let's go to file, click on access, or better still, if you have an existing database like you have an existing database like I have, click on new, and you have the option to click on a blank database or use any of these templates. We have templates on sales, templates on inventory, on customer service, anything you want to create, you have something that is similar to what you want to do. But let me just use a blank database. So when I click on blank database, I need to put the name of the database. I have to name the file. Unlike Word that I can, all the other files, other Microsoft applications, I can decide to wait to the end of what I'm doing before I can name. I have to name it. Let's say HR record this time. HR record or staff record, and click on create. So what do I have? I have a table, and of course you know what to do to create your field, to create your records, to work on your forms, to work on your queries, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that is creating a blank database. I think that is sorted out.
John,
Blank
I
database.
think, yeah, John, sorry to cut in. I think it's also important to let them know that just to open from scratch, you can as well, as long as you have Microsoft Office installed, you can as well just go to the start menu and type access and just open and create.
Thank you. You can also, instead of clicking, you go to the long method, you can just click on the start button, then on the search box, just type access and you have it. Don't forget that what you are basically when you are doing access is to store a data set. You are storing your data and you are managing it. You understand? Basically what we are doing with access is to store our data sets. You can store a lot of data sets. I think another thing I added, and that's very, very key, is also the ability to import data from other files. You can import data sets from Excel, from text files, from PDF. All you need to do is to go to external data. On your screen, on your ribbon, you see create external data. Click on external data and you're able to share these icons. You see icons for Excel, for text file. Just click on the relevant ones and click on Excel and go to go and browse. Go to where you have saved it on system and import it to a table. And you are able to do whatever all we have been doing to it. Switching between open objects, I think I've done this. Open as you open all your objects, your forms, your tables, everything you open, it will be tabbed. Everything is open. So you can just click on the tab that you want to record at any point in time. Finding records, I think that's very straightforward too. The finding and replace, finding reports. Okay, I spoke about the selecting the primary key. I spoke about that. Finding records, that's very key. Let me share my screen again. Where is it? Just a minute. Okay, let me just use any of these. No. I want to use. Have I opened the right listings? Just a minute. Let me just share. Because when we talk about managing, that's the managing we are talking about. You know, arranging, filtering, finding a particular family and information, and so on and so forth.
John, we are still seeing your PowerPoint.
I'm trying to share.
Okay.
So let me just share the screen. Customer bills, customer data. So you can have a find. Let me find John and replace with Johnson. Find John. Go to this column and find John. Find John. I click on find. Find next. Take me to John. You have a record. You have a database of 1 million customers, and you need to navigate to a particular customer. So what do? Just find. And if you need to replace, let's say you want to find and replace. I want to find John and replace with Johnson. John has changed name. John is the surname of a lady. He has married Mr. Johnson. So I need to replace John with Johnson. So find words, replace with Johnson. You know, so I can say replace. I can say replace. Replace. And in case find words, replace with Johnson. So you can see that it has replaced it with Johnson. You know, so these are things that you can do. You know, you can arrange the ascending order, descending order. These are basically, I think I don't really have too much features like Word, Excel, PowerPoint. Basically, you have these few features on the home. You can create all these, what we have created. You can export data set or import data sets. I can create, these are the advanced tools, creating macros and other SharePoints. If you are working in an enterprise environment, you're working in enterprise environment, you need to connect your access to some other things, SharePoint, connect it to other servers, you know, go to table tools And basically, you come to table fits here to come and change the data type and so on and so forth. So basically, that's what you need to do. That's how to work around your Microsoft or Microsoft Access. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, you can. I think my time is up. We've got almost up. If you have any questions, please. So for now, you can take it further. Go ahead. I'm not necessarily saying this is the end of everything. I made mention of macros. There's that macros is limits. Macros is mini programming. I don't want to delve into programming in a class like this. It's mini programming. You can automate tasks, especially repetitive tasks. Maybe most of the tasks here are not really complex, but you can have a particular tasks that are repetitive that you do every now and then. So instead of doing that yourself, you can create macros that can help you with that. I just spoke of when you have multiple tables, you're extracting stuff from many tables, information from many tables. You don't do that every day, but sometimes you don't do that every day. You create, you extract what you want from a database, from the tables, but sometimes you may have that. So these are things, but basically everything you need to do to be able to work around your database, especially the one created using Access, we have been able to go back. So thank you very much. I just think I've not confused you today. I hope you have been able to add to what you know already, but to be able to at least show you how to use Microsoft Access. Thank you very much. Let me hand it to Madam Edith to take it from there.
All right. Thank you very much, John. I mean, this is like I mentioned earlier, this is as practical as it can get. And you can only get this insight when you're being tutored by professional Microsoft trainer, right? And John has done so much justice to this course or to this topic. And I know that not everybody has grasped what was taught today. But then when we share the link to this recording, you'll be able to gradually rewatch. You can pause and follow through with the practicals and be able to really master the use of Microsoft Access. So thank you very much, John. And I can see the round of applause in the chat room. Yet let's keep it coming. Let's really appreciate John for his time. And thank you everyone for joining us in class today. It is Friday, it is weekend, some of you. Okay, Mercy or Damola, can you share the registration link to this course in the chat room? And let those who are on this call that have not officially registered to register for the course, because eventually there would be assessments that you all need to take in order to graduate at the end and get your certification from Transformation College, right? So yes, I was saying it's Friday and a lot of people are always excited when it's Friday because it's weekend. Okay, so on this note, I want to wish everybody a beautiful weekend. Enjoy your weekend and be safe, be happy, and God bless. So bye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Miss Edith.
You're welcome. All right, so Okoli, here you have the registration link, so you can click on it and register officially for this program. And I hope you had a wonderful time in class with us today.